Okay, intro's not wanting to go, but that's all right. We're just gonna fly by the seat of our pants. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining me at True Crime with Marv. We're here tonight with Nathaniel and Terry, the parents of Davhonte Morgan, and we are going to speak with them about their son's missing case. So, Justice James, thank you so much for joining us. I see we have a few others watching. If you don't want to chat, that's fine. But like I said, tonight we're doing a missing persons case. So I would appreciate it if you would share this video out, especially if you are in Mount Shasta, California. We need to get information out in this area to help find Davhonte. So hi for Tabby and Drake. How are you? So I'm going to bring on Nathaniel and Terry, and we're going to talk about Davhonte. Hello, Terry and Nathaniel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Hello. I'm so glad that you could join us tonight. We've got people that are slowly coming in. Some in the chat now. So I told them that I want them to share this video out, especially to anybody in the Mount Shasta, California area. And that is where Davhonte went missing. So it's important to get this information out to that area in hopes of finding Davhonte. What I'd like to do first is learn more about Davhonte and the type of person he was, or is, I should say. So any information you can give us about what his likes are, what kind of person he is, that type of thing would be great.
Do you want to start, Terry, or?
I would love to start. Davhonte is my oldest son. He doesn't have any children of his own, but he's real close to the little kids. He has this infectious laugh that's like you would laugh just from hearing the laugh. He's very comical. You know, he likes to sing, you know, very entertaining person. You know, everybody loves him. I appreciate everybody that came out to come and search for him. We had everyone from our neighbors to the neighborhood merchants to close friends, the little ones, you know, everybody, he's well loved.
And from what I can see, his pictures and even some of the videos I've seen, he is larger than life, like you said. And
yes.
I read somewhere that he has a stutter or had a stutter, but when he
he had a stutter when he was younger.
But when he sang, you couldn't even tell.
Right.
Nope.
So yeah, and he was also very active in the church, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, as I was thinking about it, he was well known in the community. He did lots of things, like as a little kid, he always liked to dance. You know, so as a little kid, he used to dance during halftime at the Pro-Am basketball games. He marched with Frisco 5. He was on Street Soldiers on KPOO on the radio with Dr. Marshall.
Wow.
He was in the mayor's mentors program as a teenager, you know, and where she gave him jobs and brought him down to the City Hall and taught him how to ballroom dance. And
Wow.
he also played Rosa Parks in a school play.
Okay, so as a young child and teenager, seemed like he was pretty ambitious and definitely a showsman. You know, like you said, dancing, singing in the theater play.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So when did he ever kind of taper off? Because I know that people refer to him as a homebody too. So
Yeah, he didn't like to go anywhere, actually this is like his worst nightmare,
mhm.
He always, it seemed like he dreamed it or felt like something was gonna always, happen if he left home.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to get Davhonte Davhonte to leave San Francisco was very hard.
So he was okay as long as he was in your town. It was going other places, that type of thing.
Right.
Okay. So we know later on that
Yeah, he
changed,
was really attached to the community. He was really attached to the community. Like, the San Francisco, especially our neighborhood, that was just his home base. That was his comfort zone. So anywhere outside of that, unless he was, with his mother, with, a relative who made him feel comfortable, as he left his comfort zone, he would become more and more uncomfortable,
right.
if he was by himself or without an immediate relative.
Right. Okay. So how did he do through high school? Did he play any sports?
Yes, he played football.
Okay.
Yes, he did. He played football. I forgot what position he played, but he played football.
Okay.
And he was pretty good at basketball too. He would play basketball as a hobby at home.
Yeah.
At our neighborhood park.
Okay.
Yeah, there was basketball courts right across the street from the house that he grew up in the park. So him and his uncles and everybody would go play basketball, on the weekends usually. And, that's one thing he loved to do, is just be out by the basketball court, be out in the park, with his friends and relatives and loved ones, people he was close to.
Right. So it sounds like he almost had two sides to him. He was the outgoing showmanship, eager to help anybody when he was in his own area. But then when he, like you said, when he stepped outside of his area, that is when he got anxious and uncomfortable, probably more shy and quiet.
Yeah.
More reserved, Okay.
Exactly.
He didn't trust everybody.
Right. Knew about the world we lived in, sounds like, and the things that can happen. Had some concerns. And protected himself by staying in his comfort zone around people that he knew and trusted, so that something like that wouldn't happen.
Yes.
Now, he did have a bad event happen in his life. Now, did he live on his own, or was he living with you guys?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I said, did he live on his own, or did he live with you, with the family?
Oh no, he lived with the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he lived with the family. So I know that there was a night, or it was afternoon, not sure of the time, but he was on the porch and something happened. What happened to him?
Yes. Somebody came shooting on our front porch, which is really weird. We don't live in that type of neighborhood. Things don't happen like that. Um, in the Haight Ashbury, So I don't know. Somebody there. It was always neighborhood people hanging out at our porch, and that's the family house. My mom and my grandma always looked out for the neighborhood kids and whatever. And it was a young man hanging out on our porch with Davhonte when it happened. So the bullet was meant for him and not my son.
Okay. So in the process of this, a gun gets fired and Davhonte is shot. Where was
Yes.
his injuries?
In his pelvis and in his hand.
Okay. And that would explain, because I've read and I've listened to a bunch of other videos that were done on Davhonte, that afterwards he walked with a limp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So because of the shooting, it affected him physically and emotionally.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So go into the part of, you had already mentioned that this would be his worst fear, is going to an area he didn't know and to go missing. How was
Yes.
he emotionally after the shooting?
He wasn't himself, At the same time, we were losing a lot of people that were close to us. So, he started drinking more often, frequently.
Okay. So it kind of went on, it sounds like he kind of went on a downward spiral, depression, and drinking a lot. Would that be fair to
Yes.
say? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know he was depressed because, like we stated earlier, the whole situation of where he got shot had nothing to do with him. It really had nothing to do with our house, period. It was,
Right.
the result of somebody in the neighborhood doing something to somebody and then running back to our house. And that's how that happened. And it did affect his mind state afterwards, because he always felt like he was a good person. He wasn't involved in any of the street business and all that. So why did this happen to him? That was kind of his mind state afterwards.
Right.
Right. Thank you.
Trying to figure out why it happened to him.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense. So when did this happen compared to when he went to Mount Shasta? How long of a time frame are we talking about?
It was years later.
Yeah, like
I don't know exactly how many years later, but it was years later.
Yeah.
So,
And one thing I noticed too was after the shooting, after he got shot, that's his uncomfortability rose to whenever he would be away from the family, away from the neighborhood, things like that too. So it just heightened that anxiety that he would get when he was away from relatives or out of his comfort zone.
well, and that's understandable, because he was sitting on his front porch when this happened. That's his safe zone.
Yeah.
And when something like this happens, it's really going to rock your stability, the way you feel safe and everything like that. So I can understand how that regressed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then after this happens and he's going through all of this emotional turmoil, trying to figure out what happened, why it happened, living in a space that he once thought was safe and realized it wasn't, it was probably something really huge to him.
Yes, definitely.
That safety factor being taken away from you when you're already anxious to leave your area, has just got to send you for a mind loop in my thinking.
Yes.
Because if you're not safe at home, where are you safe? Right?
Exactly.
Okay. So then he meets this woman who is older than him, correct?
Yes.
Am I right in saying she's 20 years older than him?
Let's put it this way. She's 3 years younger than me.
Oh, okay. So Davhonte was what? How old was he when he went missing? 29?
28.
Okay. So he was 28 years old. He meets this woman. Did they get along right off the bat?
Yes.
Okay. He felt comfortable with her?
Yes. But we didn't. We kept trying to, something about her didn't seem right with us.
Okay, so for him, it seemed right. He was comfortable with her. But for the family, something didn't seem right.
Right.
Okay. And I believe what I read is that she got him to come out of that uncomfortableness and go to, one of the things that they like to do was go to new places and explore new places. Is that correct? It's all right. We're an animal-friendly channel. I have animals that get in the way too, so you're fine.
Okay.
Now, what I was saying is one of the things that it sounds like from what I've read and listened to is that she helped him kind of branch out again and come out of his shell and go to new places. That was kind of their thing. They like to go to new places and explore.
Yes, except for Las Vegas. They went they took a trip to Las Vegas about the time I was there. And he didn't trust her the whole trip. He was like looking for me and wanting me to come and hang out with him because he didn't trust her.
Okay. Well, Las Vegas is a pretty big and crazy place, so I can understand him feeling that way. I think if I were to ever go to Las Vegas, I would feel that way, wanting to have somebody I trusted with me. Okay, so let's get into the Mount Shasta trip. How did that come about? Is this just one of their, we're going to go to this new place and explore this area? Did they know about the area, or how did that come about?
Okay, well, the story I talked to him. I want to say it was the third or the second, maybe. But I talked to him, and he was in Lake Tahoe. And I was like, what are you doing up there? And he just laughed it off like, oh, And we made plans to do something for my grandson's birthday. And then he was planning on going back home to a relative's funeral, and that was the last I've heard of him. What I was told was at first that he went up there for spiritual healing, and when he came down, he was going to be a preacher. That's what the story I got at first.
Is that then something you had previously talked about, was becoming a preacher?
It doesn't sound very off. Davhonte was very religious,
Mm-hmm.
God-fearing man, Christian boy, church boy, very active in the church,
Okay,
so that wasn't surprising.
Okay. Nathaniel, when was the last time that you actually were able to talk to him?
The last time that I was able to talk to Davhonte, honestly, I really can't remember. I know the last time that I had actually seen him was around Christmas of 2019. I was in San Francisco, visiting Terry and visiting, the family, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. I had a little too much to drink that day with my father-in-law, so I was pretty intoxicated. Davhonte came by with his girlfriend. However, I wasn't in a state to where I really was able to remember meeting her or even if we spoke to her. But that was the last time that I honestly remember seeing or talking to Davhonte. Before that, it might have been some months, a year or so. Like, as he got older, and this is, for another time, but me and Davhonte always didn't have the best relationship with each other, just because me and his mother didn't always have the best relationship. Our marriage had been rocky. I'm not gonna continue to go into that, but that's
Right.
kind of why me and Davhonte did not talk, or see each other as often or frequently as we would have liked to.
Okay. So let's talk about this girlfriend. Terry, you definitely have reservations about her. You were able to meet her. What were your first thoughts when you met her?
At first, I was glad because she's a Virgo, and I was like, oh, she couldn't be that bad. I'm a Virgo too, so I liked her at first, and then I noticed her doing little things that I would never do, and it's just like, I mean, I noticed something wasn't right with her upstairs, and considering the fact that Davhonte's almost 30 years old, I cannot tell him what to do with his love life. You know what I mean? So
You saw mental issues with this woman.
Yes.
Okay. And from what I understand, also, she was a big drinker. She loved her alcohol, from what I've heard.
She it seemed like she was the supplier of the alcohol. When she's around a group of people or whatever, she's gonna buy the alcohol. I have never noticed her drunk off of alcohol, always high off of something. Gotta be weird.
Okay.
Something crazy, because
she didn't necessarily drink it, but she supplied it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we think personally she was more into some drugs or something herself than an alcoholic. Now Davhonte wasn't. He wasn't a drug user at all. He'd like to smoke a little weed, drink. That's as far as his his personal habits went. But his girlfriend, she's, we have reason to think that she was into doing drugs herself. So
Okay. That makes sense. Like I said, when you watch and you read things, you get their perspective. So I'm glad you're correcting me on that, because that's what I understood doing the research on Davhonte. So I'm glad that you're fixing that, as far as she didn't necessarily like to drink the alcohol, but she liked to supply it, which tells me that she liked to keep Davhonte. How do you say it? How do I want to say it? Did she give him this alcohol to make him relax more, or to be the more dominant person in the relationship, so that he would follow her lead more?
Probably so he can follow her lead more, relax a little bit. Definitely.
Okay. So the
yeah,
two of them.
me personally, I believe that.
Go ahead.
Me personally, I believe that she liked to try and keep him inebriated, so it was easier for her to try and control him. That's my personal thought on it.
That's
definitely. On the trip the Las Vegas trip, they got into a big old argument, and he left her and came to my home. She tried her best to give him this package. She needed to give him this package so bad. It had all his favorite things in it. And to the point to where she called me, she called my mom, and I'm like, what is so important? And my son is just like, no, he didn't want to have nothing to do with her, to the point to where he walked clear across town to the airport just to get out of Las Vegas, to get away from her.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because that is another thing that struck out to me. I noticed that right away. When they did get into arguments, he did walk away many times and would go on walks.
Yes.
To get away from her.
Yes.
Okay.
He's not going to stand there and argue with her. He's not. He's going to try to get away.
Okay. He's going to diffuse the situation by leaving. And one of the ways he can deal with it is by going on a walk wherever he is.
Yes.
Okay. So that brings us to their trip to Mount Shasta. What day did they arrive in Mount Shasta? Was it the 4th of May?
I believe so. That night.
And they checked in. Now, I don't know if this is correct, because like I said, when I'm reading or watching things can get mixed up. So from what I read, they checked into a hotel, but that was not the original hotel that they were supposed to be staying in. Is that right?
I don't know nothing about that. All I know is that once they got into town, it was too late to check into any hotel, and so they checked into that one.
They stayed at the motel in town. Okay.
Yes.
And from my understanding, she fell asleep, and he wanted to go have a cigarette, and he didn't like going outside by himself, so he woke her up and asked her to come outside and have a cigarette with him, which is, from what you're telling me, he wanted somebody he knew there with him outside. Is that right?
I've heard that part of the story. I'm not sure if that's how it went, but it sounds like that sounds like something he would do. He wouldn't want to be outside in a strange place like that by himself. Especially if you saw the
right.
Especially there.
And this is what started the argument between the two of them, is the fact that he woke her up to go outside. And then it sounded like the argument blew up.
I don't know about that neither. I don't know. I didn't hear that neither.
Okay.
So,
but that's
so to my end,
I mean, me personally,
no.
I've heard a couple of different things. You know, and that was one of the things that I heard about why the argument started. I've also heard that, you know, he had recently been in contact with an ex-girlfriend of his who was, you know, his high school part, and that you know, that she, you know, was upset about that. You know, him being in contact with his ex, and you know that he may even possibly be planning to evil. Yeah, you know, that's kind of what I'm kind of leaning more towards, as far as my belief that's, you know, was more the issue. But like I said, these are just things that we've heard. So
right. Well, that would make more sense to me. Jealousy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Losing that control over Davhonte because he's talking to another female, for one, but it's somebody that she doesn't want him to talk to, probably.
Right. Just the mention of her name, she would lose it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense. So, girlfriend that he's currently with is not happy that he's talking to a specific ex-girlfriend. They fight about it. Davhonte leaves and goes for a walk. But she also goes for a walk. But it's in different areas. Because I heard she went for a walk to see the sunrise.
Allegedly, that's what she said. So.
Okay, so that's something that she said. Because what I wanted to say is the important part is that apparently they crossed paths on their walk and did not speak to each other. He continued going his way. She went back to the motel. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah, that is according to her story of what she was saying. But now there was a discrepancy because, you know, as it said on the Disappeared show that was aired on the ID channel about it, another witness supposedly saw and heard them arguing.
Oh yeah, there was another witness who said they saw them arguing after that.
Yeah, after that.
Yes.
After she last saw him, you know, like a couple hours after. So, you know, then
okay.
Yeah.
So there's a witness that says they saw the two of them arguing hours after the supposed sunrise walk took place, and Davhonte took his walk. And
the witness supposedly saw and heard them arguing, like, you know, right around the time of the last sighting of him on camera, you know, somewhere within that time frame.
So it could be possible that they argued close to the motel or at the motel. He's like, I'm out of here. He decides, I'm going to take my walk and get away from you. He starts walking through town. You're right. In the Disappeared episode, there are several sightings of him on camera walking through town, that kind of back and forth. Okay. And then also on the Disappeared episode, it sounded like he got turned around and didn't know quite how to get back to the motel.
Right.
And he stopped a post office worker and asked him for directions.
Yes.
The post office worker gave him directions, but either the directions weren't very good or Davhonte misunderstood the directions and ended up further away from town in an area that he really didn't know.
First of all, way they say he walked, there was no way that he could walk. It's like the end of the town. There's no more space to walk. He didn't have the shoes to walk. They didn't even watch the surveillance long enough to watch to see if he walked back, because he walked one direction and was like pretty much a dead end. But they said 15 minutes later they seen him walk back the other way. But they had stopped initially. They had stopped watching the surveillance. It wasn't until weeks and so later, you know.
Okay, so they watched the first little bit of surveillance and then didn't watch any more until weeks later.
Weeks, maybe even a month.
Okay. And then that's where all this other footage comes in of seeing him here, seeing him there. But that
Yes.
wasn't known right away.
Yes.
Okay.
So now one of the things that I want you to keep in mind is on this surveillance footage, when he walked off, he had nothing but some sweatpants, turtleneck, and some flip-flops on, some 49ers slides, so one thing that always struck us as odd is if he even was going to go walk off in the woods somewhere, he didn't have the shoes on to do that, although he had the shoes with him, so then that's raises the first red flag right there. Like, why would somebody who had a pair of tennis shoes just go walk away with some flip-flops on in the wilderness, So,
well, it doesn't sound like this town is very big either. So if he was just going downtown, they were downtown in the motel. So if he was just going to walk the downtown streets to get away from her for a little bit, I can understand why he may have left his flip-flops on. But it wasn't like he was going for a walk into the forest or the woods or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
He's not going to go hiking nowhere. No, it was hard enough to get him out of his surroundings. He's not going to go walking into nobody's woods or mountains or anything. No. Especially being from the city.
He definitely wasn't the outdoorsman type. He wasn't the type who liked to go hiking in the woods, go camping, and doing all that. So, he was already out of his element by even being up there in Mount Shasta in the first place.
Okay. So basically he goes on this walk, and I'm talking downtown walk, looking at stores, that type of thing, the little shops that they have on their main streets. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then just vanishes.
Pretty much.
And nobody hears or sees anything after.
Well, they said he was seen in the parking lot. Him and the girl was seen in the parking lot after that, arguing.
Yep. So, okay, this argument is after he's gone on his walk and has come back.
Yeah, after they passed each other, supposedly. She told us they passed each other watching the sunrise. She went to go watch the sunrise, and then they passed each other. It didn't really make any sense.
The sunrise, that's early. That's early. Right. Around the time that this witness supposedly saw and heard them arguing was around the range, maybe like 9:30, 10 o'clock, somewhere in that area. So it was a couple hours later than the last time she claimed she last saw him.
So this whole theory of he went for a walk and just disappeared on the walk doesn't sound legit, because you have somebody who witnessed the two of them arguing after that all took place.
Exactly.
So what happened in that parking lot is my question. And of course,
Yeah.
she's not going to tell you what happened.
Right.
So that's why
Right.
you think she's involved with his disappearance.
Oh yeah, I'm positive without a doubt in my mind that she is behind his disappearance. Absolutely, 100%.
I forget a lot of the details sometimes. And one thing that I do remember is that when we got there, she had changed rooms and the maid had come in and cleaned up the room. And so we didn't see the room they were staying in. She had already changed rooms and was giving away his belongings.
Okay,
Yeah.
first of all, why would you change rooms?
Exactly.
And was this before she made the police report of him missing or afterwards?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so if you wanted to hide something, you're going to change
Yeah,
rooms.
I can't
and let the
say for
maid-
certain, but I want to say yes, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so what it sounds like is she requested to change rooms, let them clean the room. I know that she was delayed in making the missing person report by what, 2 or 3 days?
Well, she said
2
she went
days,
in
I
there and
believe it
tried
was.
to make made a report, but they said he had to be missing so many hours.
Okay, so they're probably
48
going
hours, I
to
think it's something
48
like
hours.
that.
Yep. Okay, so she supposedly tried to make a report. Have you ever confirmed that with the detective? That she actually tried to go in and report him missing and was told that she had to wait 48 hours?
Someone has in my family. I'm quite sure. I don't know everything,
Right.
but someone has.
Okay. So that's important. That's why I asked. At least she
Yes.
attempted. At least she attempted
Huh?
right away to make a missing person report.
Right.
Okay. Because the way I had heard it, it sounded like she didn't even attempt it for 2 to 3 days. But you're telling me she did try, but they told her there was a 48-hour period, a waiting period, and then she went back after that 48 hours and made the official report.
And
Right.
now that's all according to her. That's just what she says. At this point we can't take much of what she says at all to be the truth. But
Well, that's why I
that's what
was
she
asking
says.
if you or a family member had actually verified with the police that she did try to initially do that report and was asked or was told she had to wait. And Terry, you said a family member did.
Yes, I'm gonna need to find out the answer to that question because yes, it was is we all have different jobs and talk to different people, and that's not wasn't one of my jobs. So
Okay. Well, I would see if your family member could, if they ever verified that actually happened, because that would be
okay.
key. That would be key because if she's lying to you and just telling you this and didn't wait and waited 3 days to actually do the missing person report, she's hiding major information.
Well, they then said she was hiding information. The police were the first one who said that.
Yes, they said
At
she
first,
was
they were talking
absurd.
to us with her, and then later on, they didn't want to talk with her being there anymore. Just the family.
Yeah, in the disappeared, that police officer did say she was not acting normal. She was acting absurd. And they definitely have suspicions about her.
Right.
Now, Did she know anyone in Mount Shasta?
Yes.
Okay, now yes, she did. Now she initially claimed that she didn't know people up there, that she didn't know the area very well, which proved to be a lie. She does know the area well. She knows multiple people up in Mount Shasta and has, some kind of ties to Mount Shasta that initially she denied having. That's another red flag that instantly popped up. Like,
Absolutely.
why lie about these things if you have nothing to hide?
Nope, absolutely. And that's why I asked the
We
question.
she did. Yeah. Now, one thing I'd like to elaborate on that. So we found out. Yes, as a matter of fact, she did know people up there, and we had got a tip that they had been at this house where some friends of hers lived at around the time that he had disappeared. So we went over there to talk to those people. Our timing was perfect because when we pulled up to the house to talk to this couple, who are friends of hers that live up there, we caught the man just stepping into his driveway to getting ready to walk back into his house. So we got out. We were asking him some questions, and what he told me, the things that he told us, when we were questioning him were very alarming, to say the least. Like, he first told us how his wife had, who was a close friend of Davhonte's girlfriend. The girlfriend had came and picked her up one night, around 8 or 9 o'clock at night, that they were out all night long, that they had drove through the woods and like she was trying to show her a specific location out in the wilderness. They ended up coming back about 6 in the morning, something like that. And then he also went on to start telling us how Davhonte's girlfriend was trying to give away his personal belongings, his jewelry, his clothes, things like that. And he said that she tried to give away his gold chain to him, and he said he refused it, said he didn't want it. And then after that, she attempted to give a pair of shoes to him, and he said at first he denied those, said he didn't want those, but then his wife convinced him that that he should take them. They were his size shoes, and that the brand of the shoe happened to be his last name. So while he was explaining this to us when we were outside of his house, the thought went through my head, like, hold on, you don't just start giving away somebody's clothes and jewelry and personal belongings after their disappearance, unless that person's dead or you think they're dead. And and that was the initial thought that went through my mind. And so a couple minutes later, he invited us in to talk to his wife, to try and get some more information and to recover the pair of shoes of Davhonte's that were in the house. So me and one of the relatives, we left everybody else outside. We went in to go ahead and talk to this guy's wife and get the shoes. The first thing we did was demand that they give us the shoes. As the man went and reached for the shoes and was about to hand them over to us, his wife grabbed them out of his hands and refused to give them back to us. And I was mystified and looking at her like, "Are you crazy? Like, give me my son's shoes back. What's wrong with you?" And she looked at me with the craziest look in her eye and looked me straight in the eye and said, "It doesn't matter now. He doesn't need them anymore. He's dead." And
oh my goodness.
You can only
so
imagine
there's
how
many red
we
flags.
reacted to that.
Oh, I think I would have been throwing punches at that point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have went ballistic. Nobody would have been holding me back on that one. Or they would have been trying.
Yeah.
Several red flags come out right away. Several. The fact that occurred fighting in the parking lot. So he had already gone on this walk and came back. So whoever's giving the story about maybe the story about the mail carrier giving them directions is true. Maybe it's not.
We talked to the mailman ourselves.
Okay.
We talked to him, and he told us that he saw him and he stopped him and asked him for directions.
Okay, so we know that's true. So he finds his way back to the hotel. They're in an argument. Davhonte disappears. She switches rooms, has her room cleaned, and starts giving away his items. I'm sorry, but if I'm with my boyfriend at a hotel and he goes missing, nobody's going to touch that room, and I'm not going to give his items away.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that she knew people in the area, because I've seen the picture of her, she wasn't a large woman, so that's why I asked that. There's no way she could have moved Davhonte. She had to have help.
Right.
Yeah.
So knowing that she's got these friends
and I agree.
there,
Like like exactly. She if there was indeed some foul play involved, like we suspect, she had to have had help. She's not physically strong enough and big enough to be able to do something like that all by herself. And so, she had to have had help.
right? And knowing that her friends, her girlfriend, would not give you the shoes and said what she said to you, means that she's involved somehow.
That's what I believe.
Oh yeah,
Now,
yeah.
sounds
I
like the
believe,
husband may not
I
be.
personally believe that if they weren't directly involved, that they're covering up for her. At the very least, they're covering up for her. They know what happened, exactly what happened. But I almost tend to believe that they may have had some kind of direct involvement themselves.
Right.
Because they denied Davhonte even being in their home. A neighbor told us that they seen him there.
Yeah.
And their rental car was parked there for like was parked in, I'm not going to say how long, but the rental car was parked in front of their house
for hours.
He described the rental car.
Okay.
Saying, and remember seeing him, I believe, in the yard.
So then my question for you is, after this person saw the rental car there and him in the yard, was there any other sightings of Davhonte?
Yeah, that was after. I mean, yes, he was seen in lots of places after that. That was before they had the fight.
Okay, so that was before they had the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yet, let me tell you something. We knew these people too, from the neighborhood in San Francisco. And it's funny to me, because Davhonte was such a neighborhood guy that Mount Shasta was so small. They knew we were there looking for Davhonte and didn't offer to come out when people from San Francisco came out to help to find him. And you guys are not offering to help,
Well, and that was
that was weird.
I was going to get to is the fact that a lot of you went to Mount Shasta and started searching, hanging up missing person posters, doing whatever you could, talking to people. The people in that town were not friendly. They let you hang up posters and then took them right down as soon as you walked away.
Yeah, they did do that. I did see that.
Yep.
And that was the only probably ugly thing that I personally seen. Okay. You know what I mean? Everybody was always smiling and so nice and, helpful. I personally didn't get it, but other family members did.
Okay. Oh, so the last place he was truly seen that you know of by anyone's account is arguing in that parking lot between 9:30 and 10 a.m.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
The last time he was actually officially seen by anyone was arguing with the girlfriend in the parking lot between 9 and 10 a.m.
Yes, I believe so. Not
And
too
then,
sure of the time, but I know it was after she claimed she last seen him by the hardware store.
okay. And then after that, he vanishes. He disappears and he's never seen or heard from again.
Well, I'm to my understanding, they saw him on surveillance after that, trying walking the way towards Cold Creek. But once you get like a block away, a block or two away from Cold Creek, there's no more sidewalk. The road ends.
Mm.
So it's like they said he turned around and 15 minutes later. Now I haven't seen the footage. You know, some of the footage that was shown on Disappeared, that was the first time I seen it. And they said that he walked back 15 minutes later. 15 minutes later. So from there, I don't know. I'm not too sure after that.
Okay, so they get into the fight in the parking lot. Sounds like he may have walked away again, came back, and then nothing.
I'm not sure what happened after the fight in the parking lot.
Okay.
And I got a chance to speak to the witness, and I'm sorry, I've got a brain fog right now, but I don't remember exactly what time it was exactly that she seen my son in the parking lot fight. So I don't want to say that it was 10:30 or 10 o'clock because I'm not sure of that detail.
Right. Okay. And that's fair to say. I mean, the police have the best timeline of all, hopefully.
Right.
So,
Well, when I spoke to the witness, she said she tried to call the police department and no one ever got back to her.
That's not good to hear.
Yeah,
So
that sounds like BS to me. Like that the police would never got back to her. Like if you're calling in and saying you haven't seen somebody in a couple of days, you know the police are going to get back to you about that. So you know I don't believe that at all. That she said she contacted the police and they never got back to her. I think
that was the witness. That was the witness who said that.
Oh, the witness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I have heard where people have called police to make tips and everything and are never called in to get the information from the police. So
Yeah, you know,
hopefully that's
like
false.
like to me the lack of interest by the police from the beginning was alarming in itself. I mean, we had to like really lean on the Mount Shasta Police Department just to print us up 100 flyers to go ahead and give out to pass out to people. Like, you know, they really didn't seem to take the case seriously from the very beginning. So
they're saying, which I've heard them say in other interviews, that because they had such a small staff, they don't have that many officers on duty, man, well then accept the outside help. They said they went to outside office agencies for help, but
Yeah.
that didn't turn out so well.
So when you were
there
there,
was
did you
one-
see those other outside agencies there?
Yes.
Oh,
I did. I seen outside agent. I want to say the state and the sheriff's department. They came out to help, but guess what? It's not their jurisdiction. So they can only do so much.
Right.
The one thing I know, that is that either the sheriff's department or the state police, another organization had offered to, help their assistance to the Mount Shasta Police Department in the investigation, and the Mount Shasta Police Department told them no and declined their help,
and a lot of them do. A lot of them do, and it irks me because if you have that small of a police force and you do not have the resources to do what you need to do, then you should accept the help.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you should appreciate any help given.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they don't, them small towns, they don't like outsiders coming in.
Right.
And helping, because then they see other things and they may not want them to see those things. So
yeah,
it's
and then not to mention too, there's an alarmingly high number of missing persons cases out of Mount Shasta, period, like more than usual in any other place in America.
Yeah, there's been plenty since my son. Look it up.
Yeah, I did, and I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just when we were out posting Davhonte's flyers and stuff, we noticed flyers for all kind of other missing people up there, like a lot more than average.
Right. Yeah, that county had a lot of missing people. I was like, what is going on? So, okay, so I know they've done some searches. I know that you yourself have gone and done searches. Has anything that Davhonte had with him that day, the flip-flops, the clothing, anything like that been found?
No. Nothing has been found.
Okay.
I want to mention something before I forget.
Sure.
When I first got there, she told me that she used my son's card. Now, only way, and he had it with him. He walked up with him, but she had the number, and she paid for their rent-a-car in the room another night, another day, with my son's money, his stimulus money that he had got. So somehow she had access to his funds.
Is that something that he would normally give her access to?
Didn't sound right to me neither. And she's like, this computer whiz. I don't know what she done. I know she the one that helped him set up the account and stuff.
Okay, so if she helped him set up, she had his password,
Yep.
everything else, and had access to that account.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So she didn't necessarily have to have the card or whatever it was, she had access to the account.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not to mention, I want to say, by the time I got there, she had did a whole little fundraiser with my church and
she had
close family and friends.
She had started contacting close family and friends and trying to collect money from these people.
Did collect money, not try.
Did collect money, claiming it was to go towards the search for him, which none of it ever did. I don't know where that.
We didn't see nothing. We saw the room once she changed into a bigger room.
So she changed into a bigger room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enough room for, the family.
So, I'm just trying to think here. I mean, so bizarre. She's definitely holding back information. I can tell you that.
For sure. And then she wants to act crazy.
What do you mean by act
she plays crazy? Play crazy. She's a very intelligent young woman or older woman, whatever you want, woman. She's very intelligent. She's very intelligent, and she know when and where she needs to be cool.
One thing I would like to mention. One thing I would like to mention while it's on my mind before we leave, like, she has also been seeming to try to capitalize off his disappearance in the time that he's been disappeared.
Oh yeah.
She made some kind of weird song that she uploaded to Spotify. That entitled The Davhonte's Code. She claims she's
I thought that was a movie.
A movie about it. Like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, the song is on Spotify. I went and listened to it. It's weird, but she seems like she's trying to monetize the situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not to mention, hold up. This is weird, creepy. This girl done harassed everybody that we love, we know, and people we don't know. Strangers that, because you black and you from San Francisco, you must be related to them, and been calling them, harassing them, and threatening them. She tried to get my youngest son, lure my youngest son out. Man, she's been doing some weird stuff, like, to the point that, man, I don't know what to do. Like, what do you do to somebody who okay, you're not acting like a girlfriend or somebody who's disappeared. You're not grieving the disappearance of your honey. You know what I mean? You're trying to capitalize and bring more pain and torture to his family.
Right.
Like, I mean, you should feel guilty that you took somebody's child way up there. One of you my age. You took somebody's child up there. You know what I'm saying? She should feel more bad that she did that. You know what I'm saying? Than trying to make us feel worse. You took somebody important to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And you're rubbing it in.
Has she done this recently?
Yeah.
The last time I want to say February.
Not only has she harassed people from her own Facebook profile,
she's done it from his.
Like, not only has she harassed people from her own Facebook profile, but she's created numerous fake Facebook pages, that she's used to harass friends and family from. She's even used Davhonte's own page, pretended she was him, to go on there and harass.
That's what she did with his Instagram. I thought I was before he came up missing. I thought it was Vontae's Instagram. So I was saying personal stuff on that Instagram, even you know what I'm saying, all the way up to just before he came up missing.
Wow. So where are you at, Terry, with the police department in Mount Shasta? Do they give you updates?
I have no contact. As much as they say, they telling me they doing all they can. I can't tell. Talk to me. I'm reasonable. As you can see, I'm not no racist. My husband is white. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I feel very disrespected that they thought it was okay to go ahead and put footage of what they had of my son on national television before they even thought enough to talk to me about it.
Right. Well,
not only that, let me tell you this. They had my son down as my son, my king, they had him down as a woman, as a missing person from Mount Shasta. So you tell me how much they trying.
Oh wow, that's all messed up.
It's so much stuff in our story that I haven't been able to tell. A lot of people have edited in other interviews, but you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be respectable. You know what I mean? I believe in playing fair. You know what I'm saying? If you drop the ball, that's fine. Let's get over it. I'm not trying to blame you. Let's put the focus where the blame focus on where the blame should be. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. What if it was my son? What if it was my son? From what y'all perceived, from they looking at what type of person he was. What if it was him that made Jennifer come up missing?
Right. Oh, that would have been a whole different story.
Yeah.
Glad you're back, Nathaniel. I see that.
Oh, yeah.
You had dropped off. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to tell you this right now.
Yeah, my internet connection went out for a second, but I'm back.
Good to hear that. This is a live stream, so nothing gets edited. So whatever you need to say, whatever you want to say, you say it.
Right. Now, I don't want to put the blame on Mount Shasta. I wish and I want them. This is what I want. If y'all watching Mount Shasta Police Department, check this out. This is what I want, except outside help. Accept the outside help. Don't say that you will and then don't. Accept the help. I don't care whatever else going on, whatever else has happened. It takes a village. You know what I'm saying? As you can see, Vontae, you thought Vontae didn't have no family. You thought that that nobody was going to come out searching for this little boy. So now that you know, let's get to work and find out what happened. I'm not about to blame you for nothing. You know what I mean? Find my baby, or at least find out what happened to him. How about that?
Yeah, I agree 100% with you, Terry. 100%. Okay, Nathaniel, I know you were trying to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to say that I feel is important. Very important to the case too. So when we all came up there and were searching for him, the ex-girlfriend who I mentioned he had been talking to recently, that might have been, very well have been the cause of the argument between Davhonte and his girlfriend. She came up to help us search for him as well. And I guess she's part Native American, so she has family and ties to a lot of the Native American reservations in that area too. Well, she came up and was all gung ho about searching for him, along with everybody else, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she left the area. She hasn't taken anybody's phone calls. I think she deactivated her Facebook profile, things like that, to where it almost
now she just blocked everybody that's connected to him.
Yeah, it almost seems to me like she came across some information, that scared her, or she was threatened or something, because she's always been.
Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened with that. So let me tell you. So she came up there, and we got an inkling that Vontae was back at this house, that same house where his shoes was. We had been set up surveillance around the house. So we got this information that he was in the house. We go back and get our whole team, and we tell them to meet us at the house. She follows us to the house. Then we get a call that now he was supposed to have been in the trailer outside the house, and the trailer has been spotted somewhere else. So we all was going. Kim was with us. Excuse me. Yeah, that's her name. My bad. She was with us.
Right.
We looked at her and said, "Are you coming?" She stopped and looked, and she was on. Mind you, she's on the phone the whole time. So she's on the phone and give us this weird look, and then she didn't follow us. We thinking she behind us. We couldn't contact her. No more Kim. No more. We can't find her nowhere. Now let me tell you this. She did answer my daughter's call hours later, but she said she went up to the reservation to visit her family. She told me she got family in every single reservation up there.
Right.
That's one of the numbers Vontae know by heart. You know what I mean? So she get this call and she freezes instead of following behind us. Nobody hears from her for hours. My daughter talked to her and she said she's up at the reservation. They get into an argument. And never once did we hear anything from her ever again. Now, let me tell you this. This is a girl that's always going to stay in touch with the family. She's the high school sweetheart. She thinks she is family. Why? You're going to cut all ties with your sister, which is my daughter, your grandma, and you just going to forget about your Morgan. That's what she called Davhonte.
Yeah.
Weird, right? So I try to contact her. She blocks me. I try to talk. She won't. It's like she hates the family or something. Why? What happened?
Why the 360 immediately?
And this is somebody.
Now let me tell you this. Jennifer, let me tell you this. Jennifer has her freaking number. She's been calling her, threatening her. But Kim has never been one to back down from no threat neither.
So this woman has some connections somewhere. This Jennifer, who was the current girlfriend. I'm telling you, she has some connections in high places or something.
Right.
And she is intimidating, and her friends are intimidating everybody involved in this.
Right.
Okay. Nathaniel, what were you going to say?
Yeah.
Nate, look like he having
Oh, no,
technical
I was just
difficulty.
saying that, along with what Terry was saying, how uncharacteristic it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the internet keeps going in and out. But what I was saying, I was going along with what Terry said. Like, for her to just stop communication with the family is so uncharacteristic of her, because this was a girl that used to call Terry mom.
Right.
That stayed at our at the house numerous times. And really was like family. That me and Terry considered her a daughter.
Right.
So for him
That's why I'm
to
saying that this Jennifer has to have some kind of connections, and she has intimidated and scared the ex-girlfriend. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
it must be the connections, because like I said, Kim is not the girl, and she's not easily scared off.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got to be the connections. I agree.
Yeah.
It's somebody that has power that can hurt her in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So when was the last search done in the area? Do you know if anything's been done in the area lately?
No. Not lately. Not having they don't talk to us. They dread taking our calls.
Keep calling.
Terry. One thing that I feel is very important to mention that I don't think has been mentioned before, to where it was even a point where the Mount Shasta police had told the family, to stop harassing them. I think was almost
that was me.
Words that they
that
used,
was me.
Wasn't it?
Because that was me. I kept calling them, kept posting stuff under their posts, commenting on their posts that wasn't important. Like, their main focus, sorry, no disrespect, Mount Shasta Police Department, but it seemed like their main focus is unnecessary report of crime. You know what I mean? Let's report some real crime, okay? So I was commenting, let's find my baby. Why are you guys spending all this time on something that should be an infraction? You know what I mean?
I can't wait to do the video for you guys, because there are clips in the Disappeared episode where they're like, oh, we love diversity and we're doing everything we can to find Davhonte, but sure doesn't sound like it, does it?
No. Let me tell you, what ain't they percentage black is what, 0.1% or something? And I think I met they 0.1.
Yeah.
And they didn't seem like they was for us. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. We
sorry.
And all the people we talked to and all the and all the canvassing of the area and trying to talk to residents and everything, I think we came across a total of like 2 or 3 black people in the whole town.
That's what I heard. That is what I've heard.
Another thing that's always been Vontae's worst nightmare is what's that movie? Is it Get Out?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I just want to say here, Davhonte has been missing since May 5th of 2020 in Mount Shasta, California. He is African American. His height is 5'11". He weighed 175 pounds. As you can see, his hair color is black and short at the time, and his eye color is brown. If you have
short at the time, but he liked to grow his hair out too. Yeah, Davhonte has a nice head of hair. Sometimes he'll grow it out, and wear curls or grow it out and wear afro, you know.
Yep, I've got pictures
So
of
he's
that I've been showing. So I'm
yeah,
just saying,
he's very diverse with his look. We're from the Haight Ashbury, and he likes to, switch it up.
yeah, you could tell in the pictures that I've been showing. So I'm just saying, if anyone has any information on this case, the number to call is 530-926-7540. That is the Mount Shasta Police Department. If you don't want to contact them and you are in California,
and there still is a
contact your local
$25,000
authority.
reward.
And there's a $25,000 reward, yes. But if you do not have faith in the Mount Shasta Police Department, contact your own police department and give whatever information you have so that another department has record of it and can forward
You
it.
can also you can contact. There's plenty of different flyers. We have one where he has a hotline. It's on our social media. You can check D&K Family Support. You can check Davhonte Morgan. There is a hotline for him through Black and Missing. You can also call that hotline if you want to stay anonymous. You can also reach a D&K Family Support, or you can talk to any of us through social media.
Yeah, get me that information, Terry. I will put it on my community page as a follow-up and make sure
Okay, what the hotline?
That. The hotline, any email addresses, anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely.
I'll put that in the video too so that they have all the ways of giving information.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I appreciate the two of you coming on here and telling Davhonte's story. Like I said, if you're seeing this video and you know anybody in the Mount Shasta area or surrounding areas, share it. Share it to all the California missing groups.
I want to say it share not just to California. A missing person could be anywhere. Share it anywhere that would accept it. Right. Anywhere, everywhere. You never know where he could be. You could be in New Mexico. Who knows? He could be down there. You know what I mean? Please just share. Please share his flyer, his videos.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll get it out there. My community's pretty good at sharing these videos, and like I said, I'm gonna create a shorter video with some really pertinent information that'll give the family that we all can share out everywhere, and then you have it for the future too.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you so very much. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
For your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any final thoughts from you, Terry or Nathan?
Baby, you want to go first? Hello.
Just my final thought, about it is, my final thought about it is basically that, that I know that the key to the answers that we're looking for are within Jennifer. I am convinced beyond, with zero, doubt at all, she is behind his disappearance. She is the one who knows exactly what happened, and that she wasn't alone, that there's other people, close to her that know exactly what happened as well. And, all we want is answers and justice. That's it. That's all.
Exactly.
It's been 3.5 years, and that's way too long to go with no answers, no justice.
I agree. Very well said. Terry?
To add on to what he said, I also I apologize. I lost my train of thought. I'm looking at my picture, the pictures of my baby. You know, it's a lot. You know, so I apologize. I had a train of thought and I lost it.
It's okay.
But I don't know. I just want. I really want Mount Shasta, to accept the outside help. I would like everybody just to continue to share, don't give up,
Right.
You never know. People are found years later, you know what I mean? Don't give up fighting for him,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
We
coming
need
on.
his voice to continue to be heard. Yeah.
Yes. And that voice is going to continue. Believe me. I have
Thank you for having me.
started a playlist for Davhonte on the YouTube channel. Any videos that anybody has done, any or shorts that anybody has done, I put it in there. This will go in there. Like I said, the video that I create, I got to be a little technical with it, and I'm going to put some of that video from Disappeared on there. I will put a link after the stream is over under the description for the Disappeared episode, because I think everybody needs to go and see that. I really do. But yeah, we'll get the information out there. His voice is not lost.
Thank you very much. I gave him his name for a reason. He has I thought that he would be known someday, but never in this way.
Right.
That's my star right there.
Yes. So we have a individual base stream in the chat who's been also getting information. So I've been putting their comments up on the live stream so everybody can see them also. Is that a family member?
We can't see the comments. Well, I can't.
Okay.
Oh, I can now in the chat section. You just got to go from private chat to comments. Now,
Can you read them? I can't see them.
Yeah, there's tons of them there. So it had started off. They were saying Jennifer walks to see the sunrise. Davhonte walks to cool off. Witness sees them arguing a couple hours later around the time of last camera sighting of Davhonte. And they're just kind of the base stream comments. It's just kind of, telling us what happened, giving details. They're asking some questions. Did they get in a car and drive off from the parking lot?
Right.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly who base stream is, but
okay.
I'm not exactly sure who base stream is, but they obviously are trying to help in any way they can. So base stream, we appreciate you very much.
Exactly.
Well. God bless you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, well, if there's nothing else,
thank
you. Thank you for telling Davhonte's
Thank
story.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
never
you.
giving
I
up.
appreciate you. This was so such a relief that I was able to say things that I wasn't able to say before or that was edited before. I thank you for that.
You're welcome. And I know that there's so much. It's been 3 years. Like I said, I give you a platform to say whatever you want to say. So if we need to do a part 2 because you've talked to other family members and you've got more information and there's things that you believe need to go out, we'll do a part
Well,
2.
I feel like there's definitely should be a part 2.
Yep.
There should be a part 2.
Yep.
And if you want I can have up to 10 people on here. So if you want other family members to come on with you and we talk about everything.
Oh, that would be even better because some things I forget a lot of things and some things wasn't in my department, you know? So I would love that. I'm sure they would too.
Yeah. I can have up to 10
Thank
people
you.
on. So we'll do a part 2. We'll get it set up, in the next few weeks or even next month or whatever. And well, maybe soon. But with the holidays coming up, we'll get it set up soon and we'll bring on whoever you want and go through all the information that everybody has, because there are questions that the base stream had that are good questions. And like you said, you may not have that information, but somebody else in the family might.
I love Bay Stream. She has been one of our biggest supporters. I love her.
Oh, wonderful. And then there was Takoya Marlowe.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, love you, Davhonte.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wow. I wish I could see all the comments. I don't see anything but us.
Well, I've been putting them on the screen, so if you rewatch the stream, they'll be up there for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, most definitely. And like I said, I'll be happy to do a part 2 with whoever you want on here.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
You
Thank
guys
you very
have a
much.
good night.
You too.
I'll be in touch soon.
Okay, and Terry can provide you all my contact information as well. So
okay, perfect.
If you need to call me, email me, whatever, she can give you all that.
Yeah, and I will. I'll give you probably through Facebook Messenger, but I'll give you my email, my phone number, all that too, so that you have it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Remember, everybody, justice matters, especially to these families. So, like they said, share this out. Put Davhonte's face and his name out in your communities.
Yes.
And
please continue to just pray for him, for
exactly.
his return, and pray for our family, because the power of prayer is real.
It is
many
exactly
people can have praying for us, the better.
Yes,
that's right.
All right, everybody, you have a great night, and we'll do a part 2 on Davhonte's story. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank
you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. I'm going to flip through these pictures one more time. It's important that we get Davhonte's name and face out there in this world. He's got a lot of different looks that he likes. His style is unique. So, like they said, share this out there. Get it out there. Keep his name in the media. We're going to get it on TikTok, Shorts, everywhere. And most of all, pray for the family. Pray for Davhonte. Absolutely. All right, everyone. We'll be seeing you soon. Have a good night. Hello. Are you still there, Terry?
Hello, I don't know. I'm trying to hang up.
Oh, all right. I will talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
God bless.
You too.